Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys had a good trading session today. Today is my very first daily update video. I know I said I was going to start them yesterday, but I got a little bit busy, so I wasn't able to. So this is going to be the first one. So the way that I want to structure these videos, just so that you know for the future, is I want to go through the trade performance, talk about my win-loss ratio, and then I'll then go to my chart so I can show you guys my trades that I took, talk about any invalid trades that I was in, meaning I was not supposed to be in them. Also talk about any trades that I missed, why I missed them. And then towards the end, I will show you guys my accounts dashboard so that you guys can see the actual accounts and how close I am or far away I am from passing or failing the accounts. And then we'll go from there. So as you guys can see towards the bottom of the screen, the Rhythmic screenshot shows that my gross profit was $120. You subtract the $39 in fees, and then the net profit is $80.20. Right now, I am only trading one eval because last week is what I call the Great Reset. Okay, I failed, 4 of my 5 evals, 2 of which have already, renewed and reset. So they reset for free on renewal. So those, at least one of them I will start trading next Monday, but then the other one I'll probably wait until the following week. We'll see. I'm not totally sure. So I took 10 trades today. 4 of them were wins, 3 of them were losses, and then 3 of them were break evens. Then I had one trade that actually went straight to my take profit before it even had time to hit my pending order, which does not happen very often. I talked earlier in the live today about how it typically only happens maybe about 5 times or less per week. So I don't get too annoyed with it. It's one of the reasons why I have my pending order one tick beyond where I actually want my entry, just so that I can prevent that from happening too often. So once a day is cool for me. I'm cool with that. Also with the break evens, and I'll show you guys this prior to last Monday. So I did like a really huge overhaul of this strategy the weekend before last Monday. So I think it was like the weekend of Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. And I've had to make some tweaks along the way just because backtesting doesn't show you everything, or you might not have enough data. And then as you're live trading it, then it's like, oh, I need to add this, I need to take this away kind of thing. So prior to last Monday, I would break even if I'm in a trade and price gets to my major pivot level, and I'll show you, I would typically move my stop loss or take profit to break even. Well, I don't think that I have to do that anymore. This happened 3 times today. And so one of them, I actually was in the trade and I went ahead and broke even, and it actually won. And there were 2 trades that I missed or didn't take. And I know both of them, I didn't take them because the entry was so close to that major pivot level that I'm like, oh, I'm just going to have to end up breaking even anyway. And they both won. So I don't think that I have to do that anymore. So let's go ahead and get into the charts so I can show everything to you guys. So this was the first trade that I did not take. And the only reason is because I made it a rule to not take any trades that trade on my major pivot level. However, and I even have this on my little cheat sheet, I can take the trades as long as they are counter trend. But if they are going in the same direction as the trend, I cannot do it. So as long as it's my counter trend divergence trades, I can still take it. So this one actually was valid. I just missed it, and I actually would have ended up being able to get into this one. I just missed it. Now, one thing I would like to note is that for whatever reason, for the last week, Rhythmic has been having longer data lag times than usual. So like this morning, the data lag was a whole second. And typically pre-market, I will see it as high as a second or so. But then within, I would say like 45 seconds to a minute or so of the first minute of the open, I'll usually see it drop below like to 0.04 seconds or below, but it did not do that today until 8:39 this morning. So because of that second data lag, it did make it to where like I was a little hesitant on certain entries, not really knowing if I wanted to get in or not. And that was some of the reasons why I had trades that I did not take / missed because of that. Sorry if you guys hear my 2-year-old nephew in the background. I thought he was going to be able to stay out of my room long enough, but he's not. All right, so that's the reason for this particular miss right here, is because I totally forgot I could still take my counter trend trades at the major pivot level, which is this yellow dotted level right there. So then this next trade right here, this is the trade where it was not going to trigger no matter what, because with the data lag being 1 second, my entry from the time my pending order went in to, it actually price hitting it, it was only like 0.01 seconds, or yeah, I think it was 0.01 seconds. So because that was 0.01 seconds, but the lag was a whole second, there was no way I was going to get this entry right here no matter what. This also would have been one where I would have broken even right at the pivot level, but you guys can see that it ended up going and hitting my take profit. The green line is actually where my stop loss would move to break even, but it went beyond that. So as long as it goes 3 ticks beyond the green line in the risk to reward, then I would have actually won the trade. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger like that. All right, so then this next trade is a divergence trade that I again stayed out of. Well, those two were different, but this one I stayed out of because I thought that it was going to, I was going to have to break even at the pivot level no matter what. And you can see my entry was only like, what is this? Maybe like 6 ticks away. So I didn't get into it, and you guys can see, yeah, the pivot level caused me to go into drawdown a little bit, but then the trade ended up winning, so I could have gotten in. This was my actual first trade of the day. You guys can see that it lost, and it actually was invalid. This was a pullback to my major level. I have a minor, middle, and major level on my charts. And so my overall bias was an uptrend, and it pulled back to my major level down here. However, there's 3 different setups that I take at my major level, and there's a certain parameter that I have for 2 out of the 3, and I did not write it down for the third one. And going back to my back testing, that needs to be a thing as well. So I went ahead and I wrote that on my cheat sheet. So had that been a parameter beforehand, I would have never gotten into this particular trade. So moving on, here is a sale that I ended up getting into. This one ended up losing. I thought I was going to have enough strength or support from the VWAP level to go ahead and continue pushing it down, but it did not. And then here is a trade that I actually broke. I broke even purposely. That was on me, because this down here created what I like to call a pin bar. So when it comes to the levels that I have on my chart, if price literally touches it to the tick and then takes off in whatever direction, I call that a pin bar. And so normally I don't get into trades that what I consider a pin bar, but this one in particular, because it was a 1 bar pullback on the Renko chart, I could have gotten into it and stayed in it, and this one would have been a full win. So that one was on me. Here's the next sale that I got into. This trade was invalid. I wasn't paying attention to my overall bias. So even though it was a counter trend trade, and I do take counter trend trades, the way that it looked on this level, it just invalidated it. Thankfully, it won though. So it kind of made up for that other invalid trade that I lost. All right. And so this is the next trade that I got into that I ended up breaking even with, that I actually was supposed to stay in it. So that's that one. Coming down, this was the next trade that I should have stayed in. Again, it hit the pivot level, so I broke even there, and you can see that I don't need to do that anymore. Okay, so moving on. This was a trade that I was waiting on this setup. And so I was waiting for a little bit. I was waiting for a little bit more volume to get into the market. There. before I entered it. And the last little bit of volume that I needed to validate the trade, it came in so fast, I couldn't even catch it. And I actually, had I just clicked the dang on button to put the pending order there, I would have gotten the entry and it would have been a very fast win. As you can see, this is a 5-second chart. So it literally would have just hit it, and not even 30 seconds later, hit my take profit. So that one was on me. All right. And then coming across, I didn't have too many more trades after this. So this was a win right here, which that was just a continuation of the trend. This is another continuation of the trend. That trade was pretty good. Only thing I hate about trading like after 9:30 or so Central Standard Time is just how long it takes for me to get in and out of these trades. This was the next continuation, and you can see I had a little bit of drawdown. The volume was kind of showing that it was not really sure which way it was going to go, but I trusted the setup. I stayed in it. It came about 2 ticks away from stopping me out and then went straight to the take profit after that. Now, this was the trade that was pretty annoying. I think I was in this trade for like longer than almost 10 minutes. And for this one, got the entry, really smooth entry. Then it hit. So these levels right here is the previous, so yesterday's close and then today's open. And so with them only being a tick apart, I should have actually probably just went ahead and either took profit there or set the stop loss to break even. And I said this when it was live. However, that's not a parameter that I really back tested very much. So I was just hoping that the volume could push past it, and it did not. And what it ended up doing, as soon as it went up there and stopped me out, it created this double bottom here, and then came right back up to my entry, gave a little bit of drawdown, and then finally pushed right past it. If that's not annoying, I don't know what is. And that was the last trade of the session. So like I said, I was 4-3-3-1, with one being the trade that took profit before it hit my entry. However, I should have ended today with 9 wins, 2 losses, and a break even, for a total profit of almost $800. So even though that's where I was supposed to be, I'm still satisfied with how today went. Like I said, for me, my biggest goal is to end the week positive, make sure that I do not lose this account before Monday. And if I can just get a profit every day, even if it's a small profit, yesterday was $69, today is $80, I'm cool with that. Yesterday I should have gotten more profit as well, about 3 times that much. But again, profit is profit for me. So let's go ahead and change so you guys can see my account. So I only have the one account. I removed all the other ones from here because they don't matter. This is the only one that's active. And you all can see I'm on, so the accounts that I have is eval number 17, 18, 20, 21, and 22. And I'm only that high, honestly, after a year. I'm only that high because when I first purchased the accounts, I purchased them with a 50% renewal. So then when I saw 60% renewal, I canceled them all, got a new batch. Then when I saw a 70%, I canceled them all and got a new batch. And then I did the same thing with 80%. And so because I know 80% is the best, don't take that in the bed. Because I know that 80% is the best renewal that I'm going to get, I don't need to reset or do any of that anymore or cancel. So these are the same accounts that I've been cycling for the last year as I've developed my strategy. So you can see that I still have $773 worth of drawdown in this particular account. So as long as I can keep that, make sure that I don't fail this account this week, I'm absolutely fine. So, hey, we're not doing that. Sorry, you guys. So yeah, so that's where we're at today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did not watch the live, I'll go ahead and link that up in the cards. And thank you for tuning in. And I will see you guys tomorrow bright and early at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.